What's up, guys? Welcome. My name is Leon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. MyFirstDealStory.com podcast. My name is Brittany Thompson. You already know his name.
Leon Thompson right here, guys.
Y'all, we just wanted to throw this out here. This is something that's brand new, and it's something that's been on both of our hearts. And it's just another way to impact, empower, inspire, all the ends to get you past whatever limiting beliefs you have to do your first real estate deal. I promise you all, this podcast is going to be amazing. We're going to have coaches. We're going to have people from all over the country sharing how their first deal went in real estate, how they found it, how they got it, and how they closed it. And it is our hope that you can take, or anyone looking to get into real estate investing can listen to these stories, eliminate their limiting beliefs, and take action. Now, on the flip side of this, we also help people get their very first real estate deal. So if you or someone you know are interested in getting involved in real estate, and maybe you think the market's saturated, or maybe you think you have to have a bunch of cash or credit or rich uncle, auntie, cousin, brother, sister. Y'all know what I'm saying. If you think that you got to know it all, if you think that you have to have a real estate license, let me tell you something. You don't. You can do this starting right now. And we have a program in place to help you accomplish this in 90 days or less. So thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah. 2 calls of action here. 1, if you're interested in getting your first real estate deal done in 90 days or less, visit getmyfirstdeal.com.
Yes. And if you've got experience already, if you've already gotten your first deal, come on over to our podcast. We love to have you. We love to connect with you and get your story out there, your first deal story.
Yes. So where can they go, babe?
Yes. Well, you can connect with us on Facebook, connect with us on YouTube,
or they can go
to myfirstdealstory.com.
Boom! We're going to talk about the when, the where, and the how. We're going to take the blanket off. We're going to blow the lid up. We're going to expose all of the limiting beliefs and the lies out there, and we're going to inspire other people. So come tune in. Whether you're new or whether you're experienced, I'm fired up. I can't wait to connect with you. Peace!
See ya.
All right. I am a dodo. I got to get it together. All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the My First Deal Story.com podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Brittany Thompson, creator of GetMyFirstDeal.com, which is a program I use to help people get their first deal. But today is about highlighting yet another incredible, I was saying this earlier. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm fangirling. He's a celebrity. Look, everybody's a celebrity that comes on this podcast. If you don't feel special when you get off, I didn't do my job. So what I want to do is I want to introduce Mr. Dean Rogers. Look, he went from the NFL to real estate investor and now has done hundreds of deals, has the portfolio of about 10 milli. Like, this is crazy. So if you hear me, listen to me. And he's looking to build more meaningful relationships with other rock stars in the business and inspire you guys. So y'all, welcome to the stage, Dean Rogers.
Oh man, thanks for having me. I'm gonna use this energy for the rest of the day.
Yes. Welcome, Dean. I appreciate you for coming on. And look, just take it away. Tell them who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, and then we'll get into talking about your first deal. And let's just real talk it. Let's have a conversation. Tell us.
Let's go, girl. Come on. All right. So I'm Dean Rogers. Grew up in a small little farm town in Central California, with hopes and dreams of being something big one day, and I was Mr. Sports Guy. And so did sports my whole life. And we'll come back to that story in a little bit. But, flash forward to where I'm at today. Now I married my high school sweetheart. I got 3 kids and another on the way. And I'm living in La Jolla, San Diego area, and living the golf cart life. Drive a golf cart around to my workouts, to the restaurants, grocery stores, the beach,
yes,
and and just trying to live my best life.
That is amazing. I want to live that life too when I grow up. You're actually not too far from us. We're in Orange, California.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's exciting. And
Heck
congratulations on the new one coming. That's awesome.
It's gonna be busy.
Feel?
I don't know.
I mean, whew.
I feel tired.
Already, right? Three's fun. We got 3, and we weren't ready. And then we got the 3rd one, and we're like, oh my God, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Well, talk to us. I hear you say you come from the sports. You want to live your best life, and then that and real estate. Like, there's a massive gap. So if you could kind of take us on the journey from the sports life to the integration into real estate.
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I wanted to be a professional athlete. You know, when you got the little sheet in class, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wasn't thinking about a doctor or fireman or anything like that. Like, I wanted to be a pro athlete. And maybe it was because I've been thinking about this and kind of laughing. Like, I grew up in a small little town, farm town, dairy town, where there wasn't a beach to go to and go surfing and, you know, go chase around girls. Like, there wasn't the San Diego Zoo. There wasn't like all these entertainment things to do. It was like you go to school and like the most fun thing outside of that is to play sports. So I was just super sports driven and loved it. You know, I loved it. And that's all I really thought about, hanging out with my friends and playing sports. So kind of going through high school, you know, I excelled and did great and, you know, got all the honors and all that kind of stuff, was recruited by teams, but I was kind of under recruited. That was kind of my story. Like, throughout the whole process, like, I was under recruited. I played, maybe it's because I was playing running back and I wasn't like the fastest. I had some speed, but like, I wasn't the, you know, all-star recruit. So I got recruited as a tight end by a couple different colleges and ended up going to a smaller football school, UC Davis, and played there. And then same thing, excelled, did great, got scouts looking at me, coming to games, doing all that kind of stuff. And then to flash forward through some stories there, I ended up getting the call from the San Diego Chargers that, you got your bags packed, you know, you're coming to the team. So there was some drama that happened in between there with, like, it was the year of the lockout. So like, it wasn't the normal process where you go to like mini camp and have all the same communication. It was like, hey, you're talking to, you know, 10 different teams and then radio silence for 6 months. And it was like, no, what's going to happen? You know? So, but as soon as it lifted, I got the call, showed up, and it was crazy from there. Like, it was so surreal. You know, what the week before I was training, working out, doing, you know, all the speed and agility drills and playing video games with the guys who are now in the locker room with me and my teammates, you know, like, it was pretty crazy. So, that whole experience. Have you ever seen the show Ballers on HBO?
Of course.
Of course you have. Have you ever seen Hard Knocks on HBO?
I have not.
Okay. So Ballers is all the glitz and glamour. Hard Knocks is like the behind the scenes. We're going to take you through training camp and show you what that's like. We're going to take you through the season, show you what that's like. So I'd say it's a combination of both, because Hard Knocks is like the cutthroat business, super, super masculine energy. Everybody's hyper competitive, alpha, like talking trash, always challenging you. You always got to be on, you know, the edge of your seat. And every play is like, you got to give it 110% to show out. And then the baller side is like, yo, look at all this money, red carpet. Look at all these girls coming around. You know, all these deals going down. And so it was the combination of both. And it was crazy. It was cool. I was already married. I married my high school sweetheart a month out of college. Maybe she rushed it because she knew like something was going to happen. Didn't want me in that world. But we weren't even thinking like that. But maybe she was secretly thinking. I don't know. But
she's smart. She's
smart. Yeah. So I was cool. I was cool and tame. But I tell you what, I got some stories. I got some stories off camera for you that were like, whoa, this this is crazy. This is not happening.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I get questions from my teammates like, why don't you have 2 phones? You know, like one for your family and one for, you know, the other people. And like that kind of stuff really happens because it's accessible. I'm telling you, like you are instantly a celebrity. I had people follow me to my car and just like stare at me while I'm pulling out, like just weird stuff like that. Because people just want access to you, you know. You got girls like who are screaming, you know, and kids screaming for your autographs, and you know they don't even know you. Like you just joined the team. Like you didn't come from, you know, Alabama and were the Heisman Trophy winner. Like they don't know who you are, but they want to have your autograph so bad, you know. So it was pretty nuts. So
that's intense.
It is intense. So I, you know, fortunately I kept like a level head and like kept it cool because you can get lost in that pretty quick. Huh? Yeah, you can get wrapped up. So I think being married helped me kind of keep it calm too. Like, all right, don't look over there. Don't look over there. No, walk over there. You know what's gonna happen.
No.
Yeah. So and from everything besides that, like what was so cool about it was I was feeling great. I was playing great. Norv Turner was the head coach telling me I'm going to have a long career. Like everything was looking perfect, like a fairy tale. You know, having some of the coaches being like, man, it's going to be so fun to like tell your come up story. Like you're the underdog. You came in from this school and like, look at you now and all this kind of stuff. But the twist and the plot of this movie, of this story was I had my position switched. I went from tight end to fullback. And if you know anything about fullback in the NFL, you're now like a full-time crash test dummy, like running full speed, head-on collisions. Like your mission, your objective, if you're doing great, is you're running full speed 10 yards away from the other guy, trying to kill them. And you're running through big, giant linemen. And so you got to run like kind of tight through there, and you're leading with your head. Like no matter how much you practice, there's like no way to go to the side because the gap is so small. So it is what it was. And I had this like immediate light bulb go off. Maybe it went off because I kept hitting my head, but like I just realized, you know what? Everything looks perfect and amazing, but I know internally, and I wasn't like running to the trainers to go tell them because I didn't want to mess anything up. But like I knew inside, holy crap, I am gonna kill myself if I keep doing this. And it's not like I can just go to the coach and say, hey, you know what, Antonio Gates, he's in my spot. I was a tight end. He's in my spot. He's a Pro Bowler and like, you know, Hall of Famer. Can he just like, can he switch with me? Like this isn't a, can you switch with me type of thing, you know, like, yo, you're lucky we called you, you know, you better show out and do your thing and do your job. Otherwise we'll find the next guy. Like this isn't a, can you trade me spots type of deal. Let me have a churn. So I made, you know, the hardest decision of my life to this date, which was I got to walk away from this, even though I could go down the journey. I could try to go to another team. I could, you know, try to do something different. Like, no, it didn't feel like that was the journey I wanted to go down, even though everything was insane. Like I just signed a 7-figure contract. Like I'm in this new, like I'm where I wanted to be and dreamt of as a kid. I'm here. And now I'm like, I'm friends with Phillip Rivers. I'm friends with Antonio Gates. Like, this is cool, you know? So, but I just knew in my gut, even though I still like wake up having dreams of still playing and being on the team and stuff, like I just knew it was the right decision, even though it was going to be hard to tell this story for the rest of my life, you know? But I also knew that my life would be pretty darn short if I stayed in it because I would be an absolute vegetable. And so made the decision to walk away. And then when I did that, I realized like I have to start all over. I have to start all over. Like I spent all this time and effort to get to this point. This was my life, but now what?
Isn't
And
that scary? That's scary.
really scary. And part of the reason I went to UC Davis, because I just had, an understanding like education will be important someday,
Sure.
and there will be life after football. No matter how long I play, no matter how much money I make, there will be life after football. So fortunately enough, I had a really, really good friend who I played college football with, and he reached out to me right away. He knew what was going down, and he's like, "Hey, I got a really good opportunity for you. There's this corporation in San Francisco. I started working for them. They're about to go public, software company. Like, let me get you in here." So he basically shortcut.
Wow.
Took me, cut the line in front of everybody type of thing. Like didn't go through the normal weeks on end interviews and stuff. Like just walked me straight to the hiring manager basically. And after the meeting, the guy was like, just let me know if you want the job. So got the job, and it was at a, amazing company, exactly like what I dreamt of after football. Now, what happened though was, and maybe my story would be different if I got in like a sales job where my effort, my pay would match my effort, right?
Right.
But I joined into a position where it was more of like consultant type job. Again, great opportunity. But after going from a 7-figure contract to a $65,000 salary,
ooh, honey,
living in San Francisco, super expensive, living in a 424 square foot apartment, and just feeling month to month. I realized after busting my butt for a year, and they're like, "Wow, you worked so hard. You did so great. Let's give you a big $2,000 increase in salary." I was like,
"Oh my God."
Okay. Like I would have felt appreciated if my value was recognized and I went up to at least 6 figures, like that's the space I at least need to be in. But no, that's not what it was. So
wow,
I was taken back. Whoa, I need to figure this out, because this is not going to get me anywhere fast. Because it's not like, hey, let me go to this other opportunity and like make moves, and now I made an extra 10, and now I made an extra 20, and now I got this like those. It just wasn't there. It wasn't, the opportunity clearly wasn't there to make moves. It was just clock in and clock out. You get paid the same amount. So opening my eyes just after that first year, I remember going home and thinking like, well, what else could I do? Like what other skills do I have? Not really many yet. Maybe I could just find something that would allow me to get in, low barrier to entry. I just remember like late night infomercials from Dean Graciosi, and being a teenager, like on the edge of my seat at 2 a.m. wanting to buy his course. And like, okay, well, maybe I'd want to be a real estate agent, I thought. Is where my mind went. So I Googled how to get started in real estate, and up popped Sean Terry's Flip to Freedom podcast.
Oh my God, that's my story.
That's a lot of people's story. A lot of people's story. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I still haven't met him in person to this day, but I'll get to how I have met and talked to him in a second here. But I found his podcast and was instantly unhealthily obsessed.
Yes.
Obsessed. Like, man, this guy is speaking to my heart. Like, he's got the Lord Jesus behind him, giving him power. He's got just the passion behind the business. He's on the mission to help people learn how to get started in real estate with little to no money. And anybody can do it. Look at this plumber who I helped. Look what he's doing in his life now. Look at this other person. I'm like, hot damn, I need to do this. Like,
what
man,
he doing?
if average Joe can do this, I'm going to take my effort and my discipline that I've always had from sports, and I'm going to apply that to this, and I will definitely succeed. So day one of that Google search, all it was audio. Like I wasn't even watching YouTube like today and like seeing him show and go through the contract. Like I just listened to how to fill out the contract. And I listened to that same podcast, how to fill it out. Well, I printed out, the copy he said from his website, and I'm going word by word because that's all I got to like try to learn how to fill it out. So I'm obsessing over all of these episodes, so much so that I took action right away and started doing one of the strategies he mentioned, which was, well, right now, a good strategy that's working is going to HUDhomestore.com. Mm-hmm. And HUDhomestore.com is where you can go find properties where people that got FHA loans are in foreclosure. Yep. It's a special website. And the first 30 days, anybody who's an owner-occupied buyer or a nonprofit can buy it. After 30 days, investors can start bidding on it.
This show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings, and of course to get our $1 course on how to make more than 6 figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at HiveMindCRM.io.
All you needed was a real estate agent who was licensed to go log in, submit your offer, and see if you won. So I just listened to everything with such detail that he did, so much so that I didn't even bid on properties in my area, my local market where I grew up. I bid on the properties in his market in Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Because he was saying, I'm picking up properties in Phoenix and Glendale and, this place, Peoria. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to follow what he's doing. Like, he's getting deals done. So I was willing to try anything. So I just followed to a T what he was saying and was making these offers. I remember like being so obsessed. I'm in the movie theater. I can remember this, like being in the movie theater, texting my agent, like, hey, I need to submit this offer at this price. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, babe, I'm getting this deal. I'm submitting this offer. Yeah. Watch the movie, And man, I just remember making these offers, and it wasn't too many offers till I got my first one under contract. Yeah. And then the deal from there was, okay, you got it under contract. Now you got to go print out these papers. Yep. And you got to get $1,000 earnest money deposit to this company. I think it was in Orange County even too. Yeah. In Irvine. You got to mail it there with the check within 48 hours. Otherwise you lose the deal. So I'm like, I'm still commuting 3 hours a day to my corporate job. I had to commute from South San Francisco to the East Bay by the train. And it was an hour and a half each way. So like I had very little time to print these documents out and get to the post office because I was up early and on the train, and I was out late on the train back. So like I had to go at lunchtime, and get like an Uber or a friend to take me. I can't even remember what I did, but I had to do that a couple times just to get to the post office and being like so eager and anxious to get there. And so the very first one, I get it under contract. I get the papers there. All that stuff is going good. And then you have 30 days to close escrow.
That's right.
Okay. So I remember, all right, well, I'm just going to do the next step. Sean Terry talks about going on Craigslist and finding buyers and doing stuff like that. Like Facebook wasn't as hot as it is now with all the local groups. Like you can find buyers in 3 seconds now, but like on Craigslist, I was like, okay, well, let me go, click on these ads and post some ads. And so I had like maybe 5 buyers that I was talking to and talking about the deal. And 2 of them were interested, but not quite at the price. And I'm like, oh man, like what am I going to do? And I remember just like a couple of days, kind of like maybe even a week passing, just feeling anxious and like, oh man, what am I going to do to get this deal? So I just had this. Now this is the thing. Okay. The little lesson, I'll pause and just give a lesson.
Yeah.
When you don't have resources to find deals, to sell your deals, you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. You don't have all your stuff together like I do now.
Yes.
You got to be resourceful.
Yes.
You don't have resources. You got to be resourceful. And so I got resourceful. I got clever. And I thought, well, Sean Terry's my boy. This is his area.
Hey.
I don't have his number though. I'm a little shy. Like I'm not going to reach out to him on Facebook. I'm little old nothing. Like he's not going to care about me. Let me go to his website, because there he is on his podcast talking about his website where he posts his deals and stuff like that. So I got to looking on Google and was like, okay, cool. Here's his website. Let me pretend like I'm the seller. I'm going to submit my deal. So I submit the deal online, and his acquisition guy calls me. So his acquisition guy calls me, and I start telling him what's up and how's it going down and all that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, okay, let me put you in contact with Sean. Let's see if we can get this deal sold. I'm all fangirling out. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's talk to Sean. Let's go. I'm really going to talk to him? No way. Like, I'm all nervous to talk to him. So
I love it.
I get it. He gets my number. He calls me. He's, driving around somewhere, and I'm telling him what's up. And, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, we'll get that sold. No problem. And so he does what he does. He posted on his site. He, got it sold and contacted me. All right, Dean. Yeah, we got it sold. So we'll get this over to, escrow. We'll take care of everything, blah, blah, blah. And, we'll split it 50-50. So he got it sold. He took care of all the escrow stuff. We got that all in, wrapped up right when we needed to, and got the deal done. We made $12,000. So I made $6,000 my first deal. And for me, I remember being in the office and just like knowing that the wire was supposed to get sent from Sean that day, and getting it and like doing a good old football woo, like in the office. Yeah. And one of my buddies who knew what I was up to, he's like, you just closed the deal, didn't you? I was like, yes, sir. My first deal. I'm like, look, I got some money. Yeah. So to me, like $6,000 didn't change my life, obviously. Yeah. And I just came from something that was much bigger with the NFL, but knowing that I had gone from the pinnacle of the NFL to now starting over and literally having to fight and claw to create my own life, and no one was going to do it but me, that I had proven to myself that I could do this other new thing that had such potential and such promise to get me back to the opportunity to, be living in the fast lane, life with the rich and famous, like abundance, providing for my family, going on vacations, taking care of, the people I love. Yeah. And that right there was that proof of concept. Like, okay, this is cool. This is going to be it. And took it from there. I did a couple more deals like that with Sean Terry. Okay. And, the story, I know this is about first deal, so I'll spare you all the other details, but, lots of stories, lots of learning lessons of losing money, doing the wrong things that were newbie mistakes. But man, I'm so happy that I took action right away. That's the biggest thing in that period of my life that I'm grateful for is, I don't know if I mentioned this, but from the first Google search to closing that first deal was exactly 3 months, like right on the dot. So
get out of here.
It was 3 months from the very first Google search to insane, obsessive action. And I'm not joking. Like there were some days while I was listening to this podcast, this was everything. This was my whole world now. Yeah. And I remember, listening to it on the way to work, sometimes during work, if it was a, downtime at lunch on the way back, but I'd be listening to it at night, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night. My brain wouldn't stop working. It'd be like, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be listening to how to fill out the contract, like something so simple, so easy, but so important, as it was so new to me to try to figure that out. And I wanted to really understand and grasp it. So that's why I love talking about the first deal, because you have to take such massive action. And here's the biggest thing, because you said it already to me before the show. I don't know if you said it now, but some people, everyone's got a different story. Some people, I'll get jealous because they'll do their first deal in a week.
Yes.
Other people who are super mega successful, and I'm like, wow, you're doing so many great things. They'll tell me, oh, it took me 9 months to do my first deal. It took me 15 months to do my first deal. Everybody's got a different story, but it's all about your willingness to do whatever it takes to get over that hump, figure it out. Because once you do that first deal and you prove it to yourself, the switch just goes off.
Yes.
And okay, I can do this.
Yes.
And now your actions that go behind the I can help support the doing and getting the results. So I think that's the biggest thing, is like, you just got to go all out for your first deal. You got to be consistent. And that's what helped me. There was not a day off that I took where I was just hanging out, and I'll get to that later. Like, no, I was listening to it every second.
Yep.
And that's what helped me push through and finally get that first deal. And as I watch newer people now that I'm around, the people who get deals, and I see, kind of struggle to get there or whatever, but then finally get it and then move past that first deal and do more, which a lot of those newer people in my market, I actually do deals and help them get the deals done. They I see are successful because they just have that personality of understanding to just keep going and keep pushing. And as long as you're willing to do that, you're going to make it.
It's not for the faint of heart. I think it's Les Brown that says you got to be hungry. And I'm always saying you got to be hungry.
Yeah. Got to be hungry. And boy, I was hungry. Just, again, walking away from what I was just in and saw and was tasting, to walk away from that and know, like, oh, damn, I'm hungry, girl. Like, I gotta get after it, because I got some making up to do here, So, yeah,
that's so empowering. I mean, and I don't have the privilege of knowing a ton of mega athletes and things like that, but I can only imagine that it's like humbling almost to have such a high and then all of a sudden like go deep in the valley. Like
it's humbling.
It's so much admiration. Like, I know, like I can pretty much guarantee you went through something. Like, I bet you went through something.
I did, but I kind of didn't allow it to affect me, because I just focused on that next thing. Now, the bad thing about a lot of professional athletes is, even if they had a long career, a lot of them just kind of fade off and just kind of get lost after, because they just had the world in their hands, and they had all this, fame and all this money and all this access to almost anything that you want. I mean, the only time where I got denied was from access was not when I was at a club in Chicago. I was trying to get back in. I was with some boys. We just got done doing, tables over here. We're going to this next place. And I remember like having to do hey man, I was in the NFL, like here's my thing. He's like, yeah, nah. And I was like,
what?
Oh, how about some money? And then I look over to my right, and Jason Derulo's like, yo, man, let us in. They wouldn't let his ass in too. So I was like, all right, I'm cool. If you want to let Jason Derulo in, then I guess I won't get too offended. It's cool.
Yeah, that's funny. Wow.
But yeah, to walk away from that and to go back to just being a civilian, like in military terms, people use like civilian life, it's almost like that, because you just went from being on a pedestal to now, I'm just anybody now. And that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird when you go from one place to the next. And like I said, it, like you said, it was humbling. And at the second, it was like, oh shoot, I'm hungry. I got to go get this, you know?
Time to eat. I got stuff to do.
Yep.
and then you're like doing deals with Sean Terry. Like,
and I'm doing deals with Sean Terry. You can't make it up. That's what I love telling it. I love telling the story because I did my first deal with Sean Terry, the OG, the man who I was listening to. Like, I still haven't met him in person, but we've talked several times on the phone. Yeah. We've texted. You know, I'll fangirl out and message him on Facebook sometimes, like, "Hey, you remember that deal we did?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember." And but I think I'm going to see him here this month actually, and I'm going to fangirl out. I'm going to give him a hug, like, I'm going to take pictures with him, all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not going to be able to help myself.
He's really cool. I had the opportunity to meet him 2017 when he did his Flip to Freedom conference, and he's just the person he is when you see him on the YouTube and all that versus in person, same guy, cool dude. So I mean,
I love about him. He's almost a quirky nerd, you know, like he's just so excited. He's all passionate. His voice gets all high and he's just, oh, come on, you know.
Yep. His 12K in 37 days is what got me started. That was my 2 a.m. YouTube video. And then after that, it was like, boom. So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being transparent, because you could easily be like, well, I'm not going to tell people what I went through, but there's just so much empowerment really behind what you shared. And then, you know, you address like the business and the real estate and the football, and then you had a whole family. Like, your wife must be mega supportive. She's got to love you, bro, like 100%. So that's inside, because a lot of people don't have that. They don't have the supportive spouse or significant other. So, you know, to them we'll say, hey, keep going, keep pushing, because sometimes showing is the way to go. But you know, no matter what, make sure you get with somebody who's gonna hold you down, for lack of better words. So I love hearing that, and I'm excited for you to see where you go. And I don't know if you're going to be hanging out at the end of this month. Are you going to be hanging out at the end of this month?
Yes,
ma'am.
Let's go.
I'm gonna be there too, so I'm sure we'll have a blast. But man, thank you, Dean, for sharing your time, your story, just inspiring the people that are listening, that are going to end up listening in. And tell people, how can they reach out to you? Because I heard you mention that, you know, you're still doing deals, you're partnering with people in your hometown. Like, if somebody wanted to reach out, if they got a La Jolla deal, what they need to do next?
Yeah. So what's funny is I've been basically like a virtual investor since day one, technically. So I lived in San Francisco when I got started, and then I ended up moving back down to San Diego. But I invest in Central California, where I grew up. So I got a whole team there and all that kind of stuff. But with getting in contact with me, you guys can reach me at deanrogers.com. You'll see all the social media contact stuff on there, which, you know, for Instagram, it's at Dean Rogers Real Estate. For YouTube, it's just youtube.com/Dean Rogers. You know, I talk about deals on there that we're doing, do interviews with cool people like you. And so I absolutely love to stay in contact with people. So please reach out. Like, if you got questions or stuff like that. I just launched a coaching program a couple months ago and got students in there getting really good results. So that's something I'm passionate about. And like you said, one of the coolest parts of our business, just with the whole abundant mindset of wanting to add value and help other people. I've been working with so many people in my market that last year we did $1 million in revenue just from JV deals alone, And the same is looking good this year as well. So we love working with other people, because obviously we've got the experience. We're really good at maximizing the deal, getting it under contract for the best price, selling it to, if we're wholesaling it, selling to a cash buyer, top price, making sure everything gets done correctly through escrow. So the same thing that Sean Terry did for me, maximizing that deal, is what I'm doing with other people. And it's just, definitely come full circle, and it's really rewarding.
That is so good to hear. That is exciting. But before I let you off, I do have to ask you one question too. For the people listening in, what would you say is one major limiting belief that you had to overcome in your journey in real estate?
Yeah, I would say the first thing that I had to overcome, right? Because I just came from where I came, and now I basically started all over, and life was so expensive so quick after that first year that it's like, I don't have money to go just invest in all this stuff. Like, I walked away from a big contract, like the money is not there. So how do I start a new career? How do I go start my own business? And so the biggest limiting belief I had, which I just punched in the face right away and kind of kept fighting it, was the idea that you had to have money to make money. Like, you needed to be established. You needed to have a career to be an investor. And you also needed to have experience. That was the combination of having the money and needing to have the experience to be able to do a deal. Because now here I am talking on the phone after my first deals of the just online auctions, which I thankfully didn't have to interact with sellers yet. But then Sean Terry's next step was go do direct mail, right? So now I'm talking to sellers, and here I am, little old me, starting from scratch with really no legitimate experience in buying houses and being an investor. I'm having to tell this seller I can buy their house for cash. So having the limiting belief that, you know what, I actually don't have the cash, or, you know what, how am I going to be able to buy their house? How can I really help this person in their situation? But Sean Terry really hit it home that, no, you are helping this person. This person is in need, right? And you are the person that's coming in, helping them in this situation, and also creating a great opportunity for an end cash buyer. Like this, you're doing good stuff here. You're doing good work. And so for me, that was just like the push I needed to hear from Sean to be able to like get in there, overcome it, and get the job done.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. It's powerful. I wish I had like the technical know-how to do the yes. That is so good. Thank you so much, Dean, again, for taking time away from your business, your family, what you could be doing to be here and to share your story. I'm just so honored and grateful for y'all. I hope that y'all heard his story, because there were some crescendos, there's some peaks and valleys in there. And I know that it's going to speak to so many people. So if y'all hadn't heard him, if you want to reach out to him, and look, just connect. You know, you never know what'll come out of a connection. Go to DeanRogers.com, and he's what you see is what you get. And I'm getting that vibe. So I'm excited about that. That's rare in these streets. So I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited for other people to be exposed to your story and hopefully be impacted and inspired and empowered. For those of y'all that are interested in investing in real estate and don't know where to start, don't know who to rock with, don't know what to do, feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to ask you right now, go to getmyfirstdeal.com, register. We do free challenges, 5-day challenges every month, and they're meant to just equip you on how to find, get, and close your first deal. And hey, maybe we can get you through the program. We can get you wrapped up, get you the blueprint, and then send you to go hang out with Dean, because he's going to take you to the next level. That's the goal. With the right people in the right places so they can take you to the top. So if you're hearing this message, like I said, check us out there. Don't forget to check Dean out. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's Brittany Thompson with the My First Deal Story podcast.
The show is sponsored by The List Guys. Do you need more leads in your local or virtual market? 1 in 10 small businesses don't invest in any kind of marketing. The List Guys have over 35 plus list types to choose from, and you can mix and match any list or criteria. We also use the skip trace list and provide up to 7 numbers and email addresses. Every list you purchase will be scrubbed against previous purchases. The List Guys are here to save you time. Contact the List Guys today at www.1listguys.com. That's www.1listguys.com.
I don't even know what episode this is, but coming back to you soon. Peace. Go do something. Take massive and perfect action. Bye.